into the Nick Saban Show, presented by our friends at Truckworks. What a special night at Bryant-Denny Stadium. We had the 2009 team back in the stadium and the team with a big win over Arkansas.
Well, that was really special to have the 2009 team back. You know, when I went out and they all got the big old huddle, you know, after we took a picture, that was fun. And I think they had a lot of fun being here. And really great to see some of those guys. You never lose relationships when you have a championship team. And then our team, I thought, you know, played really well. Got off to a great start in the first half, and Mac Jones did a nice job for us executing the offense. We got a bunch of turnovers on defense in the first half, set up some scores, I think like 24 points. So really a good first half, you know, for us. And in the second half, we got to play a lot of players. So it was a good overall night.
A lot of energy in the building as we take a look at the first half highlights.
Thomas Fletcher will snap it. Mac Jones holds it. It'll be a 31-yard try from the far hash mark. Kick is up and on the way. It is got plenty of leg, and it is good. A 31-yard field goal for Joseph Bulovas. Now Devwan Whaley is in it running back as Woods goes in motion. Bad snap, loose ball in midfield. It's kicked around, picked up by Alabama, taken by Christian Harris. He is going to be spun around and put down inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. But a mishandled football. Christian Harris was there for his first fumble recovery and a 35-yard run back. Bama's in business at the Arkansas 14-yard line. Bama now goes to work with Najee Harris, the running back. Mac Jones rolls right, sets himself, throws into the end zone. Touchdown on the back line of the end zone. Henry runs the third. What a throw by Mac. 14 yards for the Crimson Tide. Three wides to the right. The running back, Whaley. He deploys to the left side. Starkle stands in, throws across the middle. Ball tipped in the air. It comes down, and it is intercepted by Alabama. Intercepted by Anthony Jennings. It'll be the 8th interception of the year for the Crimson Tide. Bama leads 10-0, threatening again. Here's a 2nd and 3 from the 14. Najee in the pistol. Mac looks, throws left side, grabbed by Judy, breaks a tackle. He's going to take it in. Touchdown, Alabama. 14 yards, a BB of a throw from Mac Jones. Giles Amos now in at tight end. Extra biggins in there as the handoff to Najee. He's to the goal line. Touchdown, Alabama. A 1-yard run. Najee Harris. And Alabama adds to their already existing lead. It's 23-0. Two men in the back, certainly pro set. Here now the handoff. Najee goes left side and follows the blocking of Giles Amos for the touchdown. Another 1-yard touchdown run for Najee Harris. The single running back is to the left rear of the quarterback. He'll stay in the block. Now he deploys as a throw towards Knox. Intercepted by Alabama. Another pick by Patrick Surtain. Surtain to the 30. Surtain to the 25-yard line. His 2nd interception of the year. Thomas Fletcher snapping into Mac. A 30-yard try from Bulovas on the way. It is up, and it is good. Tight end Cheyenne O'Grady goes from the right to the left, and Whaley goes from the left to the right. Here's the quarterback looking, trying to find anybody. It's picked off by Alabama. 3rd interception by the Crimson Tide. Flag on the play. Trayvon Diggs down the left sideline. Touchdown, Alabama. It'll be an 83-yard interception return for the touchdown after a 100-yard return on a fumble recovery a week ago.
Well, Mac Jones, 16 of 20 in the first half. What was your approach getting him into the game?
Well, I think Sark did a nice job because we really wanted to give him a couple easy throws, some bubble passes, some smoke passes, to start the game to kind of get his confidence going. But, the big thing we told Mac is, hey, all you got to do is execute the basics, do a good job, don't reinvent the wheel, be a leader out there. And he did a really, really good job of that. And as the game went on, we threw some passes. He made some great throws down the field and some big plays. So worked out really well. I thought Sark did a really nice job of getting him ready to play, this week. I thought he would play better because of practicing with the ones all week and getting more reps, and he certainly didn't disappoint us in any way.
Yeah, the chemistry showed with the week worth of work there. When we come back, you'll see the second half highlights, including more points from Alabama. Stay with us on The Nick Saban Show.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. And by Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you.
Welcome back to the Nick Saban Show. So it's 41-0 at the half. What's the message to the team?
Well, we always tell the team there is no scoreboard because we want to go out, and I think you want to get in the habit of, when you go out in the second half, you want to be in the habit of reestablishing the tempo of the game. And I thought we got the ball first and went right down the field and scored, and Mac threw a really nice long ball to Jerry Jeudy for a touchdown. So after that, we started thinking about how can we get some other guys in the game, how can we get them some playing time, and try to keep some guys out of the game that were a little banged up so maybe we can get them healthy.
Yep, we'll see that now in the second half highlights.
Second half highlights are brought to you by BBVA, proud banking partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Just checking the health and welfare of the Bama offensive line. Emil Ekiyor is out there. Dickerson's on the sideline, helmet in hands as Mac Jones looks long, finds Jerry Jeudy behind the defense for a touchdown. 40 yards. Mac Jones being mobbed by teammates. Jerry Jeudy beat the defense like a drum, and Alabama adds to their lead. It is now 48-0. Jones, the quarterback, has wideouts either way. He's got the handoff faked and throws it to O'Grady, the tight end. He'll make the grab on the left side and carry it in for a touchdown. Cheyenne O'Grady breaks the shutout. So after this victory formation, there's the play, there's the whistle. Bama's going to win 48-7 as coaches Nick Saban and Chad Morris will meet and shake hands over at the midfield logo. The lights turn crimson in celebration of another Alabama victory.
So in back-to-back weeks now, against Tennessee, 231 yards allowed, 213 yards here against Arkansas. The defense continues to mature.
Well, I thought our defense really played well in the game. I think when they put number 9 in there, they were running a lot more read, sweep, Q, power, kind of option kind of football, and we weren't really prepared for that. That's not something that we had seen from them. And they did a nice job of executing it, so we were trying to get the calls right and get the players adjusted to it. But the defense did play well to get 4 turnovers that led to 24 points. To hold somebody to 213 yards in this day and age of football is really a good job. And I thought the offense kept the ball. I thought we had great balance on offense. The offensive line did a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage, run and pass. We didn't have a lot of pressure. Did a nice job on third down on both sides of the ball. So this was a pretty complete win for us.
Alabama wins it 48-7. A lot more to do tonight on the Nick Saban Show, including a behind-the-scenes look thanks to our friends at Mercedes-Benz. Stay with us.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. By Coca-Cola. Share a Coke. And by Aflac. Get to know us at aflac.com.
Welcome back to the Nick Saban Show. It's time to talk about the turning point in the game, Coach. What was it?
Well, I think the turning point in the game was when we got the first 2 turnovers. We actually got 4 in the first half that led to 24 points. But the first 2, when we were ahead 3-0, We finished both those drives offensively. So the fumble recovery and the Anthony Jennings interception on a tip ball both set up scores, and I think that made it 17-0, and we just kept rolling from there.
Mercedes-Benz takes us all access every week, and we get to meet somebody on your staff. You've got another head coach on your staff, and Kyle Flood. Tell me about Kyle and what he does for you on the offensive line.
Well, Kyle's a very mature guy because he has been a head coach, so I think he sees the big picture really well. He's a really good guy. Players really like him, but he's really, really a good teacher in the offensive line, and I think he's helped our guys develop tremendously this year, and I think they're doing a really good job for us, and I think a lot of it is because of the job he's done.
Let's go all access.
Kyle Flood, offensive line coach.
Settle, lift! That's first team all-conference 1991. That's what I'm talking about, Evan. 1991, baby.
Coach came from the NFL, now here at Alabama. If you can sum it up for me, how did you get here?
Yeah, it was a great experience working in the NFL. Dan Quinn, who is a former assistant of Coach Saban's, really does an excellent job there with that team. They've had a tremendous amount of success. I think 2 playoff appearances in the last 3 years and a Super Bowl. And we got to the end of the season, and Steve Sarkisian becomes the offensive coordinator at Alabama. And I had worked with, and that provided an opportunity to come down here and speak with Coach Saban about the job. I don't know that there's a coach really who's worked in college football that when given the opportunity to work at Alabama wouldn't do it.
You're getting to come into a fresh room, a fresh year. What culture are you establishing?
The culture of an offensive line is of work. It's a working position. It's a position where you really have to embrace monotony at times. But we do a lot of the same drills over and over and over again on a day in and day out basis to make sure that we're building the muscle memory and the skill set that you need to play that position. We've got a group of players that have really embraced that. They've embraced that part of the position, and they embraced the idea of, hey, I'm an older guy, I'm a more established player. It's now my job to pass this on to some of the younger players and show them the kind of work ethic that you have to be successful on the level we want to be successful at Alabama.
What is your coaching style? If I walked up to some of your former players, how would they describe you as a coach?
You got to ask them that. I don't know that I'm going to go there and answer that question, but I will tell you what's important to me, and I think the roles in that room have to be clearly defined. And ultimately, my job is to teach and demand. I have to teach them what we do, how we do it, why is it important that we do it this way, and do a good job so that they understand it. And then I got to demand that they practice it the right way when we go out there every day. They have to put in the time, not just the time with me, but time on their own. And then on game day, they have to perform. This is a performance-based business for coaches, for players. If the roles are clearly defined early on and they understand them, your organization has a chance to be successful.
Each week, KS Services gives us a chance to let you get on the board here and teach us a little bit about football, Coach. So the board's yours.
Okay, well, this is a third down call where we're going to play some kind of 5 man with 2 deep safeties. So we're going to have help over the top, but it's self-adjusting when it comes to receiver location. All right, so on this side, we would just play 5 man, but since these guys are stacked up, we're going to play a guy here and a guy here and another guy helping them actually inside. All right, they're going to bump the back over here, and we know that when the X has a short split, and this guy's the X right here, they like to pick, all right, and run a wheel route. All right, so we have a call that we can make where those 2 guys, 7 and 36, after they bump, can play in and out on those 2 guys. All right, and that's exactly what happens here. You see we got a pretty good match on the guys on this side, all right, and they actually do the call over there to play in and out. They actually got a penalty on this play for picking 36, and then Trayvon does a great job. And we work a lot on this. When you intercept one man, take it right down to numbers, and everybody runs for the numbers and see if you can score. And this is a big play on defense, and to score on defense is always a great thing, and the defensive players get really excited about that. So this was really fun for them.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Cooper Tires. Roll Tide on Cooper Tires. Visit coopertires.com for a retailer near you. Ask the Coach is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hi Coach, this is Alexis from Academy Sports and Outdoors. I see there is 2 bye weeks in this year's schedule. Is this a good thing for the coaching staff and players?
Well, Alexis, I think that a bye week is always welcome, especially if you have some guys beat up and you need a little extra time to get people healed up, which is certainly the case with us at this point in time. But I think the other thing that 2 bye weeks gives you is you can kind of break up the season a little bit. Last bye week, we spent some extra time working on Tennessee, Arkansas, and Texas A&M, those 3 games that we had since the last bye week. This bye week, well, obviously, the rest of the season, we'll look at things that we don't get to practice all the time, so it's a little easier for the players to game plan, when we get to that week. And of course, it's going to be a big game against LSU, but I really don't want the players to think about that too soon. I'd rather them focus on what we need to do to get better as a team, and hopefully we'll be able to get that done.
Every week we get to meet one of your players. We're going to a big guy up front, Jedrick Wills. Tell me a little bit about Jedrick.
Well, he's an awfully good player and really a smart guy. I mean, he makes great grades in school. Really has developed into being one of the, I think, best, offensive tackles probably in our conference and maybe in the country. And his maturity level each year has just, improved, and he is really physical. He's tough. He's a very good athlete, and he's a really good guy. Mickey Hetzel sets down with one of the big men up front.
Jedrick Wills, offensive tackle, Lexington, Kentucky.
So we're going to take it back. Give me the first time on the football field, and were you a lineman, or where were you put? I couldn't imagine.
No, it was definitely a lineman. I think I was like 7 or 8. I was like 5 times bigger than everybody else. I had like the X on the back of my helmet, so I couldn't carry the ball or even like touch the ball. They blow the whistle dead, like that Parks and Rec thing. Started back home in Lexington, Kentucky. I think my mom just put me out there because I was big. Just wanted me to try every sport. I ended up playing like basketball, soccer, baseball, everything. Just kind of growing up to love football.
And the O-line room looks a little different this year. Rosh Pierce-Baker and Jonah Williams heading out to the NFL. So you, Alex Leatherwood, Matt Womack, what is that room like, and what's going forward to build that offensive line?
I just feel like for us older guys now, like me, Alex, Gio, and Womack, just kind of leading the offensive line the way those guys did, and then just having the younger guys step up and replace what needs to be replaced, just kind of teaching them the offensive line and I guess our ways and how we go about things.
You've always been a leader, but do you feel yourself really progressing in the leadership role now that the room looks a little bit different?
I feel so, just because like if we don't step up, then nobody will. So I guess it's just kind of like we have to take account to our own hands and just kind of play those roles that those guys left behind.
Talk to me about the culture of the offensive line. Are you guys hanging out outside of the room? What is that brotherhood like for you?
We've had a couple meetings so far. I feel like the offense as a unit is very strong, and then the offensive line is brothers from the time we walk in the room. We just have a different vibe for each other than like everybody else. It's kind of like our own sacred place.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by AT&T, the official wireless provider of the Crimson Tide. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Here's what's next, presented by AT&T.
As we wrap up the Nick Saban Show, 31 straight wins now at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's a bye week and then another home game against LSU.
Well, this is obviously going to be a big game in terms of our division and opportunity to have a chance to win the West in the SEC. So, but I think the big focus for our team right now is what do we need to do to get better in these couple days that we're going to practice this week, and how do we put ourselves in a position where we have the best chance to be successful down the road? Because it's not just going to be this game. We're going to have some other really tough games to go with it, Mississippi State and Auburn on the road. So we got a lot of work to do.
It'll be a big game, 2:37 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Of course, on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We'll see you at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and then right back here on the Nick Saban Show.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Share a Coke. By Cooper Tires. Count on Cooper, an American company since 1914. And by Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you. The University of Alabama, where legends are made. Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you. AT&T, more for your thing, that's our thing. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. And by Aflac. Get to know us at aflac.com.